We got the Super Bowl nobody wanted. Unfortunately, both the Niners and Chiefs won. I know most people weren't rooting for that unless you're obviously from San Francisco or Kansas City or just hate the Ravens or Detroit, either way. But most everybody was rooting on the Ravens in Detroit because they wanted something new, wanted something different. Neither team ended up pulling it off. Let's go ahead and talk about these. We're going to start with the AFC side first. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Ravens versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs kind of didn't play that great, to be honest with you. The refs helped out a lot. Some of the play call or some of the penalties weren't very good for the Ravens, but the Ravens also played very poorly at points. Their offense was not very good all game long. Nobody got open, no pass blocking. Lamar refusing to kind of run. Some of his passes were just really bad decisions. However, there was times where the refs kind of screwed him over and they could have still won this game because the Ravens defense played out of their mind and kept Kansas City to 17 points, which is kind of crazy given the fact that like Kansas City hasn't had a very good offense all year. It seems like they struggled to score and Baltimore's defense is one of the best. But given the fact that your offense was constantly just three outing or not moving the ball hardly at all, and you were still able to hold them to 17 points is amazing on the defensive part. So the defense played great, but their offense didn't, and the refs calling some bad penalties didn't help either, solidifying the fact that they lost. Lamar threw a really bad interception at one point, which was a pass interference. Zay Flowers fumbling out of the end zone was bad. They ended up losing 17-10. If one of those two things just went their way, if they called that penalty on either the Likely or Odell, which were both pass interferences, but neither was called, they probably win this game, or at least go in overtime. I don't know about win. They would have won in overtime. And if Zay didn't fumble out of the end zone or fumble into the end zone, they probably would have won this game as well, or at least gone in overtime, because it would have been tied 17-17 by the end of it. Both of those things didn't go their way, and it didn't work out, and their offense didn't play well enough to even really win that game, even with some bad officiating. That just wasn't very good offense on the Ravens side at all. For Kansas City, they're going to the Super Bowl for the fourth time in 5 years. Only two other teams have ever done that. The Bills, when they went four in a row, and the Patriots was the last dynasty, which kind of sucks that one dynasty ends and starts a new one. But that's how it works. Usually not a ton of parity right now, given the fact that the Chiefs are always in the Super Bowl, and it feels like the Niners are always on the NFC side, which if we want to start talking about the Niners-Detroit game, Dan freaking Campbell doing some stupid crap once again. I swear this guy is just playing Madden when he's out there coaching. It is some of the dumbest decision-making I've ever seen. Like, why? You're down by 3, you're in field goal range, and you go for it? Come the hell on, dude. You would have been tied at that point. Now, granted, you did have a decent amount of time left for them to get into field goal range, but you could have been tied. You could have been in the lead by 3 if you just kicked both field goals. Like, what are you thinking? It was just dumb decision making. Obviously, Detroit was up 24-7 at halftime, so it looked like Detroit was moving on to the Super Bowl, and everybody was about to go crazy because Detroit is the super underdogs here. And then Dan Campbell all over this game, and it's gonna be hard for him to recover from doing some dumb decisions like that. I don't even think that the Niners necessarily played great. They just didn't shoot themselves in the foot as much as Dan Campbell shot himself in the foot, which is just an unfortunate situation for Detroit and all their fans. Obviously, Dan Campbell, he brings other aspects to the game, and sometimes these things work. If they succeed, he wouldn't get flamed on, but Dan Campbell's going to get flamed on here because these were just dumb decisions. Kick the damn field goal. At least one of the 2 times, kick the freaking field goal. Going for it both times is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and Dan Campbell just did it for whatever goddamn reason, for no freaking reason, actually. Really, there wasn't much of a reason. It was just pure stupidity. And honestly, Dan Campbell and the Lions deserved to lose this game on that decision making. The players played fine. Jared Goff played fine. They had 131 rushing yards going into the halftime, which is crazy. And they had 3 guys who had more rushing yards than Christian McCaffrey for like 3/4 of this game. So their players played fine. Their defense held out for a while until they evidently started giving up yards after yards after yards. I mean, you look at this talented Niners team and you're screwing yourself over when you don't take points. It's the playoffs, dude. You were in the lead that would have put you up by 3 scores. Like, just kick the field goal. And then the other one would have tied the game. Kick the field goal. I just hate when they don't do stuff like that. Sometimes it's just you're too aggressive in these situations. Dan Campbell was too aggressive, costing Detroit the win. And we got the Niners Chiefs Super Bowl. I'm not going to say what I think is going to happen in that game in this video. Probably next week on the Super Bowl week, I will be posting a video with my predictions on what I think is going to happen. I'm going to break down both sides of the ball. So if you guys are interested in watching content like that, hit that follow or subscribe button. Actually, just subscribe button. I'm used to saying that because of my shorts. But hit that subscribe button. Comment what you think happened in these games. What your thought is. Do you think it was badly officiation in the Ravens game? Did the Ravens offense just play bad, which they did? But was there also bad officiating that didn't help that much? And what's your thoughts on Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down twice in field goal range when a field goal could have honestly tied the game or saved the game? What do you guys think happened in those two situations? Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one.